Hi, this is Joseph Tan here from goodmonday.com. Today we're going to talk about the interesting subject of how to answer and maybe sometimes do not answer a fool. Let's begin with the definition of a fool. Now, a fool, contrary to popular belief, is not someone who is unwise. In fact, the fool wants to be a wise person. The issue is the standard of his wisdom. By what standard is he measuring his wisdom? The answer is simple. He uses he himself as a standard. So a fool is someone who is wise in his own eyes. He himself defines what is right. He himself defines what is wrong. He will tell you what goes and he will tell you what doesn't go. He then is the measure of all things. Everything around him must be interpreted according to his liking and to his preference, regardless of the environment and what other people think. That is the definition of a fool. When confronted with a fool, you have got two options. One is do not answer him. The second is you do answer him. So what is the situation where you tell yourself not to answer him, and what situation you do need to give a response? Here we go. Situation number one, you do not answer a fool. Meaning when you see his misbehavior, when you see his selfish conduct, when you see him blaming and giving excuse, you do not engage in a debate, nor do you want to waste time trying to give him an answer. Why? This is because he has already made up his mind, and no iota of effort and reasoning from you is going to change his mind. In fact, this particular person is so set in his ways, he can even logically argue his way out of almost any situation. And if you were to attempt to argue with him, you are on the losing end, because his point of reference is not your wisdom or your advice. His point of reference is himself. The danger is this: if you continue to engage with him in argument and try to answer him logically from your point of view when he is so locked up in his stubborn perspective, what happens is that you are actually playing his game. And in the final analysis, you end up being just like him. The fact of the matter is, by trying to answer this fool who have already made up his mind, you might end up being one, because you are so mashed up in playing the game according to his rules. So the best thing for you to do is walk away and don't answer this fool. However, there will be a situation where you need to engage and provide answer to a certain type of a fool. This is the second situation. Let me explain. The foolishness that comes from this person is due not so much to stubbornness, but due to simple-mindedness. He could be misbehaving and showing certain lousy attitude because of bad influence, or it could come about due to certain wrong thinking about life and about himself or the people around him, or he could have been following a lousy advice that he received and he didn't know about it. There's one important telltale sign of this situation where you do need to answer a fool. He is facing certain pain in his life. He is experiencing certain consequences due to his foolish action. And there is a tinge of motivation and commitment of wanting to come out of these painful consequences. Then this is where you come in to provide an answer, you see. You are providing an answer not to belittle him. You are providing him with an answer on how to overcome the pain in the consequences and in the situation he is facing that comes as a result of either the bad influence, wrong thinking, or lousy advice that he has been holding on to. So what you need to do is to engage him by providing answers that is relevant to the pain that he is facing. Answers that are based on the truth, on unchanging life principles. answers that are based on verifiable experiences, and also answers that are based on right moral standards. You see, you are providing answers not so that you can look good. You are pointing him to a higher standard, and it is this higher standard of morality, higher standard of truth, higher standard of variable experiences that this person then must start to think about. You are answering him not based on coercion. You are answering him by appealing to his conscience. When this happens, the fool will then start to realize that, hey, I have been trying to be wise, but it was just in my own eyes. I need to see beyond myself to a higher standard. I need to see beyond myself to what other people are saying, because wisdom is not measured by my own standard, but by absolute and unchanging standards outside of myself. And what happens? The fool starts to be humble. And when he is humble, he will be on his path to being truly a wise person. And you would have played a part in his journey towards wisdom. So let me summarize. You have two situations here. Please do not answer a fool if you sense that he or she is stubborn and he has already made up his mind, because he will argue his way out of anything. On the other hand, do answer a fool that exhibits foolishness due to simple-mindedness in his behavior, because your role then is to show to him the truth. Your role then is to appeal to his conscience. Why? Because he is feeling the pain and consequences of his action, and he wants answers. So unless someone can connect the dots and see the consequences and pain of the path that they are taking, it is not worth your time to answer them, because they are too locked up in their own self. This is Joseph Tan here from goodmonday.com. Thanks for watching.